I think this is the first for this channel so far. It's getting to the point of this season. They're coming to an end for like lawnmowers and weed eaters and whatnot. I'm coming towards more of the ATVs, and there's a scooter over there I need to work on. And in the wintertime I could do what I call my projects, but in the fall, at least around here, we could potentially lose power, storm-wise. And if it's in the summertime, I mean, I'm not going to say it's pleasant, but you could go outside, make a drink, still be completely fine. But when it comes down to the winter and fall, late fall at least, it can get a little chilly. It never really gets below freezing where I live to long periods of time, but it can still hover around 40s. So, having said that, generators become a frequent item to work on. In fact, I have a 10 horsepower one I need to work on after this, just waiting for some parts. But this is one that I purchased for $10. It's a Harbor Freight Chicago Electric 800, 900 watt maximum. Looks like it's 2 horsepower, 2-stroke engine, output of 120 volts at 60 hertz. I don't see the amps. It has a 1 gallon tank, a 50 to 1 2-stroke to fuel oil mixture. I want to say this is like a 4 to 5 amp. It's not a very big one. It's nothing that you're gonna be able to power your home with. Let's put it that way. But if you have like a small pump, maybe if you're on a well, we'll look into that later. This could probably run it as long as it's not 240. I guess most pumps are 240. Let's say a freezer. I feel like a freezer is probably around 800 watts or under, at least under that, the very maximum. Heaters, those are big. Those are like 1,000, 1,500 usually, unless you get like the really big ones. At that point, you might as well just kiss your electric bill goodbye. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is we're going to see what's wrong with it. I bought this for $10. And the person that owned it before said that he bought it, this same scenario, power went out, and he needed one to, just for like the evening, I think it was. So, he bought this one. $99 or $110, I think they're usually new. There they are. That works. And never used it again. It's been sitting in the garage ever since. So I have a pretty good suspicion it's just going to have bad fuel. Just, oh my god, it's full. Okay. That's not good. Ooh. Oh man, I smell it already. These are just like every other small engine piece of equipment, suffer from poor fuel. But another thing this one suffers from, especially I've noticed, is the spark arrestor and the exhaust getting plugged up. People like to run 30 to 1 of these for whatever reason. I'll just wreak havoc. little bit easier. Not really seeing much of white spark. That's not good. It's also having a hard time clipping in. You know what? Like I said, this is usually not a problem with spark. And the guy never said anything about it, which could be a lie. Don't get me wrong. But let's just put a little fuel down it. See what happens. Maybe a little bit more fuel. There. Yeah, so as you can tell, it's a little dirty, but everything else seems to be fine. So what I'm going to do is I have to take off these screws, and I think there's some screws behind it or something that holds this whole cover on, and then that will give me access to the carb, and it will clean it out and see if that resolves its problems. Such a small thing. It weighs a ton. I don't know why, but I just really like this. And don't get me wrong, they have very few redeeming qualities, but they're just kind of cool. It's a 2-cycle generator. It's loud. It's most definitely inefficient. It's cheap. Actually not that bad. So it looks like, yeah, we have some bolts in there. But it's still cool. I don't know, I like them. I will say this though. They may have their problems, but they're pretty reliable. For the money, I mean, $100 brand new. The only reason why I even got this because it was $10, but even if you were to buy it brand new, at $10, that's not a bad deal. Looks like we have some switch cables. Black is on top. Let's remember that. The garage dock is off doing something she should be doing. Oh, there's another cable. It's an hour away. Well, hopefully that stayed put, so let's just not disconnect this anything we don't have to and go back to garage dock. Some of these connections have like a clip on it. Don't really want to disconnect it, but I remember this part. This is the worst part about this. You have to almost disconnect, bend the linkage or pull the rods out that this sits on. Here's my burner. So let's see if that one's easier. You get two 10mm wrenches. So what you do is you put two nuts on there, and then you tighten them together, and then you take the back one and you loosen it. That should take the post out. It's kind of stupid you have to do this, but I guess it's a Harbor Freight machine. Can't be too critical on it. It may be cool, don't get me wrong. It's still stupid. So if you can see that, the hard part now is getting them off. So I'm going to do this to the other side, take off the carb, and then put you back in the carb station. So, unfortunately, the fuel line on this machine is toast. But, oh well. There we are. Ooh, that's a nice color green. Let me view up a little bit here. A little better. I mean, yeah, this was dirty before, but it wasn't green. Ew. Right there, that's nice. There's like sludge in there. Literal sludge. But the good news is everything seems to be in pretty good condition. Just like every other piece of equipment. Non-ethanol, ethanol fuel is used and got it nasty. So we need to denasty it. See if I wanted a better bite on that. That's not horrible. But neither is this one. This one's probably the best. I had to see small ones in there. We might not take this out. It's not really too necessary. It's turning. It just doesn't want to. There we are. Wow. That was nasty. Oh, yeah, it's like black in there. Let's see if the emulsion tube comes out. It's so small, it's hard to reach. I get a pick. Pretty sure it does. But it might just be so nasty in there. I really don't want to take a butterfly off. I'm going to put it in the cleaner, and maybe that'll help loosen it up a little bit. Where's my pliers? I need to clean that. This should be for the idle, even though it doesn't idle. It still needs it. It wasn't horrible. The rest of them I'm going to leave. A long time ago I made this for something very similar to this problem. But I'm also having the same problem I had before, it's just too big to fit in here because those stupid butterflies. Huge. Nah, I think I'm out. Oh well. Well, let's put it in like this and see what we get after. Everything's out. Blew through and cleaned. Let me just double check on if I can get this emulsion tube out yet. Some of them you can, some of them you can't. This very well might just be one you can't. Looks like you could though. Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe putting in the jet in the side on this one. There we go. Nice and tight. Double check the float. Take off all the grimies. Okay. There we are. Doesn't appear to be stuck. I'll just blow on it real quick. Noise will work. Let's see. So it turns on and off. That's good. The bowl seal looks immaculate. And if I remember correctly, it goes like this. Yeah. I think I am going to take a wire brush real quick. Something's my finger. And clean the end of that. Take off the big crap. There we go. Okay, now, final bit. I was racking my head. I'm trying to figure out what exactly this could be ideal for, and having a hard time coming up with something. Like I said, they're cool because you don't want to take it camping because it's pretty loud, and you don't want to be that person going camping that has like a generator that's loud as like a 4,000 watt generator. I think I remember selling one to a person who needed like an extra hour or two or power or something during the fall or spring, or maybe fall and springtime for their greenhouse, because they had like solar panels, or they were about to install solar panels, but then they realized how expensive it was, and a $60 generator was a whole lot cheaper. So I guess there's a reason there. Okay, I'm gonna put this on. I did replace a new fuel line. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you back once it's all connected. So I want to touch base on this linkage problem I was having. Like I said, take the studs out. Don't just bend it. I've worked on 2 or 3 of these where the person had done that and caused some serious problems. It's not impossible to fix. It's not easy. But once you have this whole trick, pretty easy. When you take the post out, it's still on the back. When you tighten it back up, it's still in the front. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. So everything's put back together. Fuel has been on for a while. Filter good, I'm not going to worry about that. New plug. If this works right, just going to check it out for power, make sure it outputs power. And clean it up, and that's really about it. So let's see. Get a choke. On switch is on. Looks like definitely have to figure out what's going on with these handles. Other than that, it seems like it's doing fine. So let's take a look. The health of these are stripped out already. Doesn't seem to be dirty again. Maybe it was stored without handles on before. It got dirty. They put the screws back in and the dirt just doesn't allow it to sink down all the way. Or it just needs smaller screws. Here's my other pick. There we are. So that's how long we have. Yeah, that should be just right. I think that's what happened. It was just so dirty in there. And if not, we'll put a washer on it. Looks like it's washers. We'll find some washers up there. Okay, put new washers in there. Seems to be a lot sturdier. Let's try it again. Make sure it doesn't sound like a ride-away freight train. apply to see if it would idle down anymore, or if I had put the idle screw too deep, and it wasn't even touching the idle screw. So there's just the RPM. It's going to stay out until it runs. So here's a tip. If I could find my... To clean this up, you can use a lot of things, don't get me wrong, but I have roughly 3/4 of a gallon of gas from this thing. And I saved a little bit in this cup. And to clean it, gasoline is an excellent solvent, especially of oil, such as what's on here. So just take your old gasoline, clean it up. It's probably going to take a couple of these towels. You do want to avoid hitting anything electrical or hot, obviously, so don't do that. But look at that. I think it still has the cover. Oh, it does. Well, isn't that nifty? Okay, well, you don't need to see me house cleaning this, so I'll go ahead and get this done, put it on the internet, probably a good 70, 80 bucks. Pretty new still, so I think it'd be a good addition for someone's, I don't know, greenhouse? Who knows? But definitely, if you like what you see, or if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will keep on posting. Definitely subscribe. I'm going to put a link to the spark plug I put in there. So if you have one of these, go ahead and buy that from there. If cleaning it doesn't work, you can buy the carburetor. Something you could also do, if this wasn't a problem, or this isn't a problem for this one, but it could be for yours. I'm also going to put a link for the exhaust, because the exhaust, like I said, has a tendency of getting plugged up. So I'm going to put a link in there, because usually if your motor runs but chug, 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 that's the reason why. Take it off, turn it on, put some ear protection on, because it will be incredibly loud. And then if it turns on, it runs fine. It's your exhaust. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. See everyone later. Subscribe. Have a good night.